guys, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead readings, 18th to the 24th of January 2021, guys. Where has the time gone? We're already in the new year. Hope you guys all had a really good Christmas and you have a prosperous new year. Some of you guys have been asking where I've been. Don't worry, if I'm not on YouTube, then usually I'm really busy with the website, okay? So thank you to everyone that wrote to me asking where I am. I'm perfectly fine. And yeah, just took a bit of downtime, bit of time out whilst concentrating on my website and the year aheads that came in and things like that. So yeah, sit back, relax guys, and enjoy your week ahead video. Thanks ever so much for joining me on your week ahead reading. We're doing the 18th through to the 24th of January 2021. These are the cards that we're using this week. We are using for your general reading the This Might Hurt Tarot deck by Isabella Rotman. We are also going to be using the Sacrobito Tarot. This is a new deck that I bought. I mean, it's been out ages, this deck has, but I bought this, I think might have been a few months ago actually, probably around October time. Love this deck. Can't see quite the name on here. I think it might be Stasia Burrington. That's who that's by. And be using this for your career reading for the week. And for your love reading for the week, we're using a beautiful, beautiful deck. I just really love this deck. It's the Afro Goddess Tarot Arcana's first edition. Can't remember who this is by though. Not sure who this is by. Don't remember. But yeah, we're going to use this particular deck for your love reading for the week. And for special spiritual guidance for the week, we're using the Awakened Soul Oracle deck by Ethany. She's also a YouTuber, an amazing tarot reader. Go check out her channel. And yeah, so we're going to use that for your spiritual guidance for the week. So guys, yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy your reading. Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Okay, Pisces, so the cards are laid, and let's have a look firstly at what the your general reading is. Let's have a look. Right, we do have some Nine of Swords. Now, Nine of Swords is all about anxiety and fear and worry. This is the card of sleepless nights, and sometimes it's really, you can see the swords are all above this woman's head, so she's really in her own head with this. I'm not saying that the worries with the Nine of Swords aren't valid, but it is one of those cards that indicates that there's a lot of kind of fears and stuff going on. But I think with the Six of Wands, it depends on how you want to read that and how you read it. You could be, for example, you could read it as somebody's worried about, with the Six of Wands, you know, getting recognition or getting ahead with the Six of Wands, because the Six of Wands is a card about victory and success. So it might be that there are worries here about being successful or getting ahead, or maybe getting your work recognized. Remember, the Wands are indicative of career within tarot, and so the Six of Wands is a card about recognition. It's about being the star. It's about being out there. So maybe some of you guys are worried about being recognized for your work, or getting ahead. Or maybe some of you guys, it could be even with the Six of Wands, you are in a leadership position. You do have a lot of people who rely on you. For example, with the Six of Wands, there may be some worries around that. Or it could be that worries are overcome, perhaps, with the Six of Wands. Let's look at the next one. No, there are worries here that the success that you've been having in a certain sphere of life is going to come to an end. Because the Death card is the ending card, and this is success, and success comes to an end. You know, the way that I read, you can read tarot however you want to read it. A lot of the time, I will read very similar to how I would do a Lenormand reading, as it were. They're different things, but they're very kind of similar in terms of how you technically do a reading sometimes. Success is the Six of Wands, and this is being on a high. But the Death card changes that or ends that. So perhaps some of you guys are worried about success changing you. Or perhaps some of you guys have been on a really successful roll, Pisces, but you're worried about that suddenly coming to an end with the Death card showing there. I feel with the Knight of Wands, it's almost like it's advice, and that you need to still kind of carry on pursuing whatever you're pursuing here. the card of the Knight of Wands is all about action, but it's also about pursuit. And interestingly enough, the Knight of Wands, how I read as well is I read kind of looking at how the cards are facing one another. So even though there may be worries about your success, if you've been on a lucky roll or you've been doing really well, some of you guys are kind of overthinking a little bit, I think, here, Pisces, and thinking, oh my goodness, well, what if this success doesn't last? What if it doesn't last? You know, but I feel that with the Knight of Wands energy, you've still got to kind of just move forward anyway, and you've got to have a certain amount of confidence and self-belief within oneself, within yourself, Pisces, with this Knight of Wands energy showing here, the 10 of Swords. Now you can see what's interesting, I find, about this particular spread is when I look at that Knight, look at him, he's almost refuting death and saying, get stuffed. You're not going to stop me. Can you see? He's looking at death and he's saying, get lost. You're not going to stop me. And look how he's got his back turned to the 10 of Swords as well. It's almost like he's coming out of this grave. It's almost like he's kind of saying, I'm not focusing on this. And I will rebuff death. I'm not going to allow this to have an impact on me. And I think that when I look at these three cards, there is a sense in this reading. And I think it almost feels like there is advice within these three cards here, especially with that Knight of Wands turning its back on the 10 of Swords. It's not focusing on that 10 of Swords. It's kind of saying to me, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to allow my fears and my worries about success coming to an end in whatever I'm doing. I'm not going to allow it to stop me. And I think that it's saying that you shouldn't allow these worries to stop you in whatever you're doing or to stop the momentum. You've got to keep the momentum up regardless of this, because the Knight of Wands is momentum. It's movement. It's passion. It's dedication, it's motivation. So it's all about the momentum. And I think that the message for the week, Pisces, is that even though some of you guys are deeply, deeply concerned that the success or the, you know, the recognition, whatever it is that you've had with that 6 of Wands energy isn't going to last with the Death card, I think that you've got to keep up the momentum and you cannot let, because some of you guys with the 10 of Swords, I think that you're overthinking things a little bit. I think you're really overthinking things. And I think that the universe is really saying to you in a way, Pisces, you can't let that fear stop you from moving forward. You can't allow it to stop the momentum. You've got to move out of that 10 of Swords. It's moving away from the 10 of Swords. So you guys are overthinking and saying, oh my goodness, it's all going to end tomorrow. You know, I've been on this really lucky roll and it's going to go. And the universe is saying, well, you may be worried about your success coming to an end, but you've got to fight back with that. See how Knight of Wands is fighting death. He's like, you ain't going to stop me. Now, it's a funny thing because who can stop death? No one can. It is a major arcana. Big change, but it really is all in your head because it starts off with the 9 of Swords. So your worries about whatever success you're having right now, Pisces, coming to an end, it's all in your head. And really you've got to fight against that, because the Knight of Wands is a knight. He's a fighter. He's going into death and he's saying, you're not going to stop me. So really, I think the advice is you've got to fight against these thoughts. You've got to fight against that happening. I think that whatever's happening here, Pisces, is all in your mind, and you're allowing it to really I think that you're allowing it to really harm you with that 10 of Swords. I think you're giving into it with the 10 of Swords. I think you're really giving into this. But the universe says, don't focus on this 10 of Swords. Don't focus on the negative thoughts, because remember, swords are thoughts. So the 10 of Swords is sometimes it's just a whole bunch of negative thoughts really taking you down. Don't focus, back turn to 10 of Swords. Don't focus on the negative thoughts. Fight against the Death card. If you're worried that your success is going to come to an end, well, fight against that thought. Fight against it coming to an end here. Don't focus on there being a painful ending. Just focus on kind of keeping the momentum up of whatever it is that you're doing at the moment. You can't allow your fears to hold you back, I think, is generally what this reading is telling you. Let's have a look at your career. 6 of Pentacles. So the 6 of Pentacles is a card about generosity and gifting and help. So maybe you're receiving some support here, or maybe you're receiving some form of opportunity perhaps. 6 of Coins is receiving, it's giving and receiving, but it is in a work reading usually receiving some form of an opportunity here to do something. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the Devil. The Devil in a I mean, to me, this card, can you see his face? He looks like, come to me. So some of you guys, it might be that you're receiving a very tempting offer, because I use the word tempting with the devil card because he is tempting. Maybe there's a tempting offer here, or maybe you're just receiving some form of an offer here with the Six of Pentacles here. And next we have, let's have a look. Oops. The Ace of Swords. Okay. You know, the devil also in a career reading can be that you've got too much on your plate, or you're tied to your work. There's no balance with this card. When you get in a reading, there's so many meanings to the devil and work. It's not always a bad card at all. It can be a great card if you're really ambitious. And if you really want to rise to the top, this can be an amazing card to get. It really can. It can be exceptional. But I think that with the devil card, it can also be a card that represents where we are just completely. It could be worse than a Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands in terms of work is that you're completely overburdened by work. You've got too much work on your plate. Two of Coins as well, juggling work. But the devil is a major arcana. It's even worse. It's where you're just tied to your desk or whatever 24/7. And I just get the impression that with the Ace of Swords, you're cutting yourself free of that bondage, because devil is bondage. So maybe you're given a chance to cut yourself free from a job that keeps you tied to it, or a job that in which you are just tied to the job 24/7. There's no life balance. There's no personal time or anything. You're just completely swamped down with work. And I just feel that some of you guys may be given a chance to cut yourself free from that with the devil over the next week or couple of weeks or so. Yeah, and I feel that it's interesting, isn't it? Five of Wands reverse. It's going to give you a chance with that Five of Wands reverse to ease up on some tension that you've been feeling. Because when you get the Five of Wands in the reverse, or it's to leave behind, I don't know, competition. Five of Wands in the upright is a competitive card when it comes to work. But it's also a card that would indicate somebody's worrying, or they've got a lot of fears or something like that. In the reverse, the competition is leaving. So when you get cards reversed, if you got I don't know, a Queen reversed, a King of reversed, that could be somebody who's gone. They've left your environment. Same as if the Five of Wands is competition within work. If it's reversed, the competition is gone. So perhaps, or if this is a card about feeling tension in the upright and fear, in the reverse it's saying, well, it's giving you a chance to let go, to finally just let go of the competition, the fear. What's the next one? Now the Five of Swords is backstabbing in work. It's to me, you know what this looks like? It looks like you're in a horrible environment, Pisces. I'm not being horrible. It really does. It looks like for some of you guys in your career, you're in a really, to me, I mean, I don't know. Lots of people are working from home these days, but you can even get that if you are working from home. It depends on what type of environment you're in, Pisces. I get the impression some of you guys are working for a really kind of, some of you guys might be working within the corporate industry, where you get a lot of this type of thing going on. There's lots of competitiveness I'm getting around some of you guys in terms of career, because you've got the Five of Wands and the Five of Swords. Now the Five of Wands is reversed. The Five of Swords is not, but it doesn't matter, because I think it's kind of saying the same thing. You see the Ace of Swords, it cuts both ways. It not only cuts the devil out, it cuts out these cards too, because it's right in the centre. So I would say here for career, it just looks to me, Pisces, this week and going in maybe into the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're being given a chance with that Six of Coins energy to cut out this devil. Now the devil may be a person. So in other words, to free yourself. Now you can see as well, when you do tarot, you just get so many downloads on the cards. You can see that the Ace of Swords is cutting through. Can you see the black veil? It's cutting it through. And I get the impression that some of you guys have been feeling this black veil over yourselves, like this black shadow. You've been in this black shadow. Perhaps you've been dealing with the devil. Perhaps you've been dealing with a very nasty individual, a troublemaker, a gossiper, a backbiter, somebody who's been really competitive, somebody who's been slanderous, who's been nasty. I'm getting the impression that maybe that devil is not necessarily the job, but it's the person. And I think that whoever this person is that you've been dealing with, they've been slanderous, they've been competitive, they've been jealous, they've been just downright nasty. I think this person's provoked you probably, Pisces, and I think this person verbally has put you down quite a bit. And I think that with that Ace of Swords in the centre and the Six of Coins, that the universe is now giving you a chance There's a chance here for you to cut yourself free from whoever that nasty piece of work is, and the competitiveness and the spite and the division and the discord that this person places around you. Because I think that this is probably a bully that you're dealing with who causes other people to be bullying as well. So you've been given a chance to basically free yourself from all of that. Let's have a look at the love reading. Another six. Is that another six of coins? Yeah, six of coins. Yeah, I mean, the six of coins is give and take within relationships. That's a standard meaning of the six of coins. But also it's generosity and kindness. Also, six of coins is money. So when you get financial cards in love readings, it can be finances, it can be money, it can be receiving a gift, or you're receiving something that is owed to you. Knight of Cups, it's called the Son of Cups, but it's the Knight of Cups. I just feel that you're receiving a gift. Some of you guys may be receiving a gift from an admirer. The Knight of Cups would be the admirer. This would be the receiving a gift. Some of you guys may be receiving a gift, or you're receiving some form of an invitation from an admirer. Or you're receiving an invitation. The Knight of Cups can be the invitation card as well. What's this? The Two of Pentacles. I think, though, there's a need to weigh something up here with this Two of Coins. You might need to weigh something up here with the Two of Coins here, Pisces. The Magician. I get the impression you need to weigh up whether this person's serious or not. I'm going to call the Magician serious, not whether you want to create something or start something. Some of you guys need to weigh up whether you want to start something with this person, or maybe you need to weigh up whether this person's being serious. Only because the Magician can be a bit of an illusion. You know, this person creates illusions. They're pretending stuff. They're a bit of an actor. So sometimes you have to kind of weigh up, is this person being serious, or are they kind of... You know, what it almost feels like there's a sense of needing to weigh up what this person's motivations truly are. Oh, the Eight of Swords shows up here. I think that there's a lack of trust here. I think there's a lack of trust with that Eight of Swords showing there. You don't have to read the cards here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can read them any way you see fit, what makes sense to you. There's a couple of things I'm thinking on this reading, actually, funnily enough, Pisces, when I look at it. Number one, I think that you are being given an invitation, or you may, you know, you're being given an invitation by this Knight of Cups showing here, by an admirer. Because the Six of Coins is being given something, it's a gift or an invitation. Or you may be having, there might be an exchange with this Knight of Cups. So some of you guys, it might be that there's an exchange here, because the Six of Coins is an exchange. So it could just be, if you read it just as exchange, it might just be like an exchange, obviously, of words, conversation. So if you look at the Six of Coins as being an exchange, it may be, well, there's a conversation here between you and this Knight of Cups. All right? An admirer. Maybe there's an exchange with an admirer here that happens. I do think, though, with the Two of Coins, it feels to me like you're needing to weigh up whether this person is being serious, with the Magician energy showing here. Perhaps with the Eight of Swords, there's a lack of trust on your part, or maybe you're confused, or maybe you're just not certain, or maybe there's something about this person that frustrates you or makes you feel a little bit fearful. It could also be, though, that you have this exchange, or maybe there's an invitation coming your way from an individual, but maybe you're needing to weigh up here, Pisces, whether you want to start something with this individual, especially, I think, with the Eight of Swords, if they're a commitment phobe. The Eight of Swords in a love reading can mean somebody who finds it difficult to connect with others. They find it difficult to commit to relationship. They're a commitment phobe with the Eight of Swords. So there's a couple of things here, I think, in terms of love. Yes, I see an invitation from someone. I see an exchange with an admirer. But there is a need to weigh up whether they're serious, or whether they're just acting or pretending, or maybe they're just not being who they truly are. Perhaps with the Eight of Swords energy, there's a real fear on your part here. Perhaps the fear is about getting hurt. And also an exchange with an admirer I see there, but I feel, again, the need to weigh up whether you want to start something with this individual here, due to maybe they come with a reputation with the Eight of Swords. Maybe the reputation is that they're a commitment phobe, or they're a love them and leave them type. You can't trust them. Let's have a look at what you should do, actually. Oh, let's get the cards. I'm going to get the This Might Hurt Tarot and just clarify. What should Pisces do about this individual? What should Pisces do about this individual in 2 cards? I think that you need to focus on what your... And that's you, isn't it? That's your card. Pisces is the High Priestess. I really feel that you need to focus in on your intuition with that High Priestess energy showing here. The 5 of Wands energy. I think that you need to focus on your intuition. Because I think with the 5 of Wands energy that there's a lot of internal fear going on here for you. 5 of Wands is internal fear and the High Priestess is intuition. Okay, so I think 2 things really. The High Priestess is not just about intuition, it's about no action as well. And it's also about distancing oneself. So maybe you need to distance yourself from whatever's going on with this individual here, especially if you're feeling with that 5 of Wands energy a sense of fear or worry when it comes, or anxiety when it comes to this individual. Pisces, there's a need, I think, with the High Priestess really just to keep your... She's also a card about boundaries as well, funnily enough. If you get her in a love reading, sometimes she can be the secret woman. Sometimes she can be about sex. She can be about deep emotions. But often she's somebody who says, I don't want a part of this. And she really does keep those boundaries up. That's what your High Priestess does. So on the one hand, I would say keep your boundaries, keep yourself to yourself, distance yourself from getting involved in a mess, probably with the 5 of Wands, or distance yourself. If you feel with the 5 of Wands anxious or nervous about this person, it's probably best to keep your distance. But also I would say the other thing to do is really tap in, focus on, really follow that intuition. If your intuition is telling you that this person with the Magician is probably a little bit of a player, they're probably a bit of a commitment phobe, I would say focus in on that intuition, hone in on that intuition, especially if you feel anxious or nervous or worried every time you're around this person. I really feel that you need to pay attention to that intuition. I really, really do. This person comes, they invite you, there's a lovely, pleasant exchange with this individual here. They say all the right thing. But I do feel, Pisces, that you being the High Priestess, your intuition immediately picks up on the idea that this person is not great. This person is not a great person. I really think it picks up on that. And I think that is why you should kind of just distance yourself a little bit. Pay attention to that intuition. It's really important. Let's quickly recap the reading then before we finish, Pisces. Firstly, general message. Some of you guys are worried about your success not lasting. You've been really successful in a certain area and you're worried that it's going to run out. Your luck is about to run out. I would say the universe is advising you generally, you've got to kind of not focus on the negative thoughts that you're feeling here. Okay, some of you guys are really worried that some form of success or something you've had, it's just not going to last, it's going to end. But you've got to challenge that. You've got to really fight that feeling of things coming to an end, because the Knight of Wands is not allowing death to stop it moving forward. Okay, and also it's got its back turned to the Ten of Swords. So you've got to stop focusing on all these negative thoughts. Okay, and you've got to just feel the fear and do it anyway. Whatever this is, you've got to focus on moving forward and you've got to keep the momentum up. If you allow yourself to give in to your fears, then I think that whatever it is that you are consistently thinking, Pisces, I think at some point it is actually going to materialize. So the best thing to do, I don't really practice the law of attraction, but I do believe in some of its doctrines. And one of those doctrines is that if you think negatively all the time, whatever you're thinking is going to materialize. And I think that that's what this is trying to tell you. So you've got to keep the momentum up, even though you're worried about success coming to an end. For some reason or another, you've got to fight against that and don't focus on the Ten of Swords. And also I think with the Ten of Swords as well, and the Knight of Wands moving out of that Ten of Swords as well, you have to challenge the idea of kind of, you know, because you've got a very fatalist idea here, I think. I think some of you guys are thinking in a very fatalist way, and yet you have your own agency, and you have your own strength, and you have the ability to challenge whatever this change is that you feel is coming in. You don't have to stand for the status quo. But I think that if you focus on negative thoughts, which is why you've got to move away from that, I think if you continue to focus on negative thoughts, you'll end up manifesting what you're thinking about. In terms of work, you're being given a chance to cut away from a devil. This could be a boss who puts so much work on you, or it could be a troublemaker within the workplace. This person's been highly competitive with you. They've been really rude. They've put you down. They've bullied you, all sorts. The Five of Swords is the bully, and the devil in the Five of Swords is tantamount to being a real bully within the workplace. But you have a chance now to cut yourself free from that, okay? Going forward into love, I see an exchange with an admirer, perhaps. Some of you guys weighing up whether this person is being honest with you, very confused about who they are, or you're weighing up whether you want to start something with them. Perhaps you've heard down the grapevine they're a commitment phobe. The advice would be to pay attention to whatever your intuition is telling you, especially I think with the Five of Wands. If this person leaves a really bad taste in your mouth, if this person makes you anxious, really focusing on that intuition and follow that guidance. What is the spiritual advice for the week? Oh, what a beautiful card. Wow. Truth. That's exactly what I was saying. Truth. Tantamount to this. Love reading. Truth. Let's have a look at what it says in Truth. I just love this deck. The imagery is just stunning. Truth. Let's have a look. So Truth. So the advice being truth is, right. So the truth card has come to you today to ask what you see as they are. There is what is, and then there are the stories you tell yourself. These may ultimately become what you believe and take on as truth, which I think is really connected in with this area here, where your truth is that your success cannot last. It just cannot last. But the universe wants you to challenge that and stop focusing in on the negative, because the Nine of Swords isn't always true. The Nine of Swords is just a fear that you are putting out there. And the more that you think it, the more you're starting to allow the fear to become form. Where are we? But a spotlight on the bullshit. Put a spotlight on the BS. Call yourself out on it. This will allow you to move forward. There you go, the Knight of Wands. As the truth can and will set you free if you let it. Absolutely. It may be obvious, but it is time to tell the truth. No beating around the bush or trying to justify it. Just say it like it really is, with as much compassion as you can. There are many universal, natural and man-made laws that all revolve around ideals of truth. Know which ones of these are mutable and which ones are actual. In a world where our realities are created and ever expanding, know that things can change. If people are not being sincere in their actions or following up with their words, trust that they are showing you who they really are. Words without follow through lack integrity. Truth can be tricky. Many spiritual people talk about speaking their truth when really the ego has them hiding behind truth when they are just being plain mean. It may still be true, or at least to them, but what is the motivation of the person delivering the message? Is the integrity lacking? Speaking your truth isn't about making excuses. Okay. So yeah, it's very good and very apt, I think, for this reading, because I think that this reading is all about facing up to the truth. I really do think it is. In all three readings, in a way, I think, Pisces. I do. I think that, you know, some of you guys have began, and I don't know, maybe it's this individual here, this devil in work who's doing this, because for some reason, some of you guys are believing that something that you're doing is not going to last. The recognition, the reputation that you have, everything, it almost feels like you feel that this is going to go on account maybe of what, because I'm wondering where this has come from, and I'm wondering if it's coming from the words of another individual. Now, if the Ten of Swords are the words, because Ten of Swords can be somebody who's just sticking a load of negative words into you. With the Knight of Wands, you've just got to ignore it. You've got to challenge this, and you've got to ignore that. You really have. He's got his back turned to the Ten of Swords, and he's moving towards death card is saying, you're not going to stop me. So you've got to kind of challenge whoever, if somebody's saying stuff to you and making you believe that your success or you're, you don't deserve your success or it's not going to last, you've got to challenge that. You've got to say, you're not going to stop me, because the Knight of Wands is not allowing death to stop it moving forward. He's not going to stop. We know that death is immovable because it's inevitable, but he won't stop. So it's almost like the, I can't remember, it's something about the immovable object and something moving towards the, I can't quite remember what the quote is, but you can't allow this to stop you, because this is all imagined. This is coming from someone. You've got to ignore, and if those thoughts are what people are saying to you or what this person is putting into you, the negative thoughts, and to be honest with you, the Ten of Swords is a put down. So when you get the Ten of Swords, it means somebody's putting you down as well. So with the Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands moving out of that Ten of Swords, you've got to ignore the put downs. And you've got to challenge this. You've got to challenge. You've got to say, don't let this stop you from moving. Okay? So if you're worried about whether you can remain on top or remain successful, don't let whatever this person is saying to you stop you. Okay? Ignore the put downs. Okay? Because I think that in the work, especially if this is work related, or even if it's not, don't allow anybody to stop you from doing what you're doing, because they're doing it through jealousy. And in work, you are going to be given a chance to free yourself from whatever that devil is. Okay? Or whoever that devil is. Okay? Whoever this is, they're a pretty nasty piece of work, but you will be given a chance to do that. So there's truth in everything. And we've got the Ace of Swords right in the bang in the centre of the reading. Truth. And it is time to focus upon the truth. Because some of you guys in the Nine of Swords are really telling yourself some stories. But I think it's because of what somebody said, probably. Just looking at this whole spread. And also, most of all, in the love reading, focus on your truth. Because the High Priestess, unless she's reversed, if she's in the upright, it is about truth. And usually you will find that if your intuition is really strong, and even if your intuition has such a bad effect on you, like the Five of Wands, like it makes you feel literally sick to the stomach or nervous, you really have to pay attention to that, because that will be the truth of what's going on. If your intuition is telling you that you're dealing with a player, that you're dealing with somebody who... even if the message in this reading was, because the Six of Coins can be somebody who's playing the field, the Knight of Cups and the Two of Coins can be somebody who's romancing a couple of people. The Magician is and the Eight of Swords. The Magician again is somebody who casts illusion. They're a bit of a trickster here. They're not telling the truth. The Eight of Swords is about silence and non-truths. So you may be dealing with somebody like this, and for some of you guys, it might be time to face the truth over that individual, perhaps. But all along the way in this reading, it is a week for facing up to the truth. Okay? Don't allow stories in your head. Okay? Focus on that intuition. If your intuition is having such a bad effect on you physically, then there's some truth in whatever it is that you're feeling. Seriously. Not unless you've got a propensity to really trust nothing and no one. So really, this is a week for facing up to the truth of the matter. Don't allow stories to formulate in the head. Okay? Especially if somebody's put it there. Alright, that is your reading, Pisces, for the week. I'd like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe, and have a great day. If you'd like to order a personal reading, click on the link in the comment section below or the end screen. And also, if you like tarot deck reviews, please click on the review that I've done. I've started introducing that on the channel. Click on the review I've done on a beautiful tarot reader called Saskia Lee Psychic. She's created a beautiful deck called the Bright Future Tarot. So make sure you're checking that out. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.